Welcome to Thursday Night Football with Calvin Dean, sponsored by the NFL Network. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I hope everyone is safe and going to enjoy your family or friend. Notice I said friend. Keep it simple this year, please, people. Zoom your family members. I mean, if you're away, just stay vigilant, mask, and social distancing, and because COVID is just running nuts. I mean, the NFL, Thursday Night Football, tomorrow night, the Ravens against the Pittsburgh Steelers has been postponed due to COVID. Yes, COVID. Seven people from the Ravens have been found positive with COVID. Yes. And there's 5 players and 2 coaching staff members have been found positive with COVID-19. And they have other ones that are pending, they said, linemen that are pending. And they are really thinking, because I guess they are showing symptoms, and they're thinking that they might have COVID as well. So they just tested. Wow. It just hits home, doesn't it, guys? I mean, it just hits home. And we have to, be vigilant and really don't let your guard down once. Don't let it down. So do us all a favor, right? Smart. And let's have fun during this Thanksgiving. We have 2 football games tomorrow. I mean, it's gonna be fun. Eating a turkey, watching football, having some brewskis or some wine, and wow, what a great day. Zoom your friends and Zoom. I know you guys aren't all together, but have some fun with it. Really. We're all in this together, and if we want to get back to work and back to somewhat normal, let's, I fear right now, because of all the people who are going to the airports and traveling, I fear that Christmas is going to be devastating, and I just fear that anyway. Well, happy Thanksgiving, people. Let's get on with the show. The NFL teams, what a week 11. I mean, what a week 11. I mean, just wow. Just some surprises and teams that really are playing well. And one of those teams that I think are playing very, very well, and that's the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, I am in Los Angeles, living in Los Angeles, and I mean, these guys are just impressive. They have a 667 winning percentage. I mean, that's impressive. They are just, they are 7-2, but I'm telling you something, people. They could be 8-1 right now. They really could. So, that's where it's at right now. I mean, excuse me, they're 7-3. They could be 8-2. Anyway. They just are so impressive. They beat up on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay falls to 7-4. Ooh. And boy, did Tom look just not good. He was missing. I think he's not getting it. And I think he's just relying on the short passes for right now. Work into the long passes. Don't force the long ball. And you have so many different weapons that he has to choose from. It's like a candy store, kid in a candy store. And I think he's getting a little bit overwhelmed. And then that offensive line, the Rams was in his face all game long, and just like the New Orleans Saints all day long. So that is the way to beat Tom Brady, is get in his face and get it up, because he's not mobile, and they're just going to have to shore up that offensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they have any chance to make the playoffs this year. That's for sure. And those Los Angeles Rams 7-3, Seattle Seahawks right behind them 7-3, Arizona Cardinals 6-4, and then you have the San Francisco 49ers at 4-6. This NFC South, you have the New Orleans Saints at 8-2. I mean, they looked great last week. I mean, come on, Jason Hill, are you kidding me? Jason just looked good. But I'm telling you something, he got lucky. He got lucky a couple times. He should have had an interception at the goal line. I mean, it was such I think the ball was thrown so, gingerly that the defender was so surprised that he had his hands on it, Should have been an interception on that one. I take Tom 7-4. The Tampa Bay Bucks. Their offense, I mean, it's weird. Sometimes they look great, sometimes they look not so great. So I think they're still gelling. I mean, you have to understand something, people. The Saints have been gelling with that team for a long time, with Drew Brees and stuff. But I'm telling you something, Jason Hill, you're going to start seeing some roller coasters going on, because Kamara is hurt. He's questionable this week. Think about that, people. Just think about it. And I mean, it's just, I think they're going to lose a couple of games before Breeze gets back. I really do. I'm certain of that. And the Carolina Panthers 4-7 without Teddy Bridgewater. That team's a different team. And plus, McCaffrey. That's when they don't have McCaffrey too. They're a different team. They'd be different this year if he didn't go down. The Atlanta Falcons 3-7. Once again, I mean, it's the funniest thing. I pick them to win, and they lose. I pick them to lose, and they win. I'm telling you something. The Falcons. It's just, it's like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde watching those guys. And then you have the NFC East, where you have Philadelphia in first. The second place is the New York Giants. Third place is the Dallas Cowboys. And fourth place is the Washington football team. But I'm telling you, the Washington football team, they're 3-7. Cowboys 3-7. Giants 3-7. And the Eagles 3-6-1. And, the division record, the Eagles are 2-2. But the Giants are 3-2, guys. 3-2. The Giants could take this division. They really could, and they've been looking great lately. I'm telling you, the Giants are definitely a team to be reckoned with. That is for sure. I mean, it's just wow, And then you have the NFC North, where it's getting tight. You got the Packers 7-3. I predicted they would lose last week, and they did. And you had the Chicago Bears had a bye week, and they're 5-5. And now the Minnesota Vikings 4-6. They got beat by the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, Dalton's back. Isn't it funny how you get Dalton back, and they look like, wow, world beaters, And then the Detroit Lions, they disappoint me. They just disappoint me. They're such a better team than what they've been playing. They just are. And it's sad. 4-6, the Lions in last place in the NFC North. And so we go up to the American Football Conference, AFC. We have the AFC East. We have the Buffalo Bills currently in first place at 7-3. Their division, they're 4-0. So that's pretty good. And then you have the Miami Dolphins second at 6-4, and once again they hit a roadblock last week, and they lost, to the Denver Broncos, and wow. And same with the New England Patriots. They were flying high from their last week's win, and then the week before win, and then last week they go down to Houston and they get beat by a good questionable Houston Texan team. I mean, that team's fully loaded with talent, but look at their record. That's a sad record, 3-7. Whew. So, and then you have the Lonely Jets losing again. Every guy, every podcaster, every sports anchor have predicted them to lose this season. Wow. And you have the AFC South. Who's sitting on top of the AFC South? We have the Indianapolis Colts, which I predicted to beat Green Bay last week, and they did. And the Tennessee Titans, I predicted would beat the Baltimore Ravens, and they did. And the Houston Texans are third with 3-7, and then you have the lonely Jacksonville Jags at 1-9, who I predicted to lose last week, and they did. You have the AFC North division. Now, this is an important division. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're running away with this division at 10-0. The Cleveland Browns 7-3, and the Baltimore Ravens 6-4. Oh my God! You think about that, guys. The Baltimore Ravens 6-4. The last game just looked terrible again. That offense is just not clicking. And then you have the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow. I'm so sorry, Joe, that you're hurt, man. That looked like a gnarly injury. And if you go to my podcast, the draft 2020 draft, and when I spoke about him going to the Cincinnati Bengals, go listen to it. People, go listen to that podcast, okay? I want you to go listen to it. You really have to. Because I predicted in that podcast, I felt sorry for him. He was going to the Bengals. And you'll hear me tell everyone what's going to happen to Joe Burrow. I said he's going to get hurt, but he's going to get badly hurt the first season. They put him out there. If they put him out there and start, well, of course, they got rid of Dalton, and they put him to start. I told everyone he's going to be hurt. He's going to go down with a bad injury. And what happened? He went down with a bad injury last week. I'm sorry, Joe, that I predicted that, but I did. And, man, I feel sorry for the kid. And he's going to come back like what? Almost like a Joe Theismann type of thing, I don't know. I feel sorry for him. He's on a terrible team. And anyway, hats off to Joe. Speedy recovery, my friend. Speedy recovery to you. We have the AFC West. Of course, we have the Kansas City Chiefs on top, 9-1. Patrick Mahomes predicted last week he'd win. He won. And then you have the Raiders, 6-4. The Raiders are good, people. I think the Raiders are dangerous. I think they are. I've seen them. Their offensive line is just huge. I think they're dangerous, and I think they're going to make the playoffs, and they're very dangerous. And I don't think any team want to play them in the playoffs. I don't think any team would want to. Then you have the Broncos. Surprising win over the Miami Dolphins. And I'm telling you, the Broncos, they have this young team. They're good. They're not great. They're good. But I see greatness coming their way. And they're 4-6. Then you have the Los Angeles Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers would be in first place if they were in the NFC North and NFC East. And I'm telling you something. The Chargers, Hay Bear, wow! I predicted he'd win last week, and he did. So it's going to be an exciting Week 12, and I'm excited about it. Like I said, we do have news and announcements and who's starting, who's not starting. Nagy won't announce his starting quarterback for this Sunday of the Chicago Bears. It looks like, but all signs point to Mitchell Trubisky. That's what that's what all the people are thinking. His shoulder is doing well. Matt Nagy is quiet about his decision. He wants to make it quiet. Shh, people, shh. What's Matt Nagy gonna do? Man. I don't know. The Chicago Bears, they're so overrated. at their their standings, I just they're 5-5. They should be really 4-6. I'll go back to the Detroit Lions game. The Detroit Lions should be now 5-5. But anyway, who am I? Next, let's just go over the Week 12. People, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Yeah, Week 12 is upon us. Tomorrow we have 2 games. Yes, it's Thursday night football with Calvin Dean, sponsored by the NFL Network. And yes, we have 2 games tomorrow. And of course, we have the Detroit Lions. Every Thanksgiving morning, it's the Detroit Lions. They always host, but they're hosting the Houston Texans 3-7, and the Detroit Lions 4-6. The Lions usually come alive in this game. They usually do. And the Texans are coming off a high, beating the New England Patriots. New England, and they're 4-6, and the Texans, they looked great last week. They looked great. I'm sorry, Detroit fans. I'm sorry, Detroit faithful, but you're not going to win this game. No, Mr. Watson's coming in. He's just going to win. He's going to have a huge game. Big game for Mr. Watson and the Houston Texans. And, and Fuller's going to have a big game. If you have Fuller on your team, start him. Even Cobbs, I can see having a good game. And, it's going to be, I don't know if if Stafford is going to be starting. He's questionable. Another question is Golladay. You can't really win without those two. And even the tight end is questionable. So, the Lions, they just disappoint me. They disappoint me. I think they disappoint a lot of people. And, the Houston Texans are going to come in and win this game. Even though the Lions are, they're, always play tough on Thanksgiving Day. They always do. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. Always a fun game to watch. The 1:30 game on Fox is the Washington football team going into Dallas Cowboys Stadium with Andy Dalton starting, and they looked like world beaters last week. What a fun game to watch. They pulled it out. They won. They have the Washington football team playing against them. Chase Young looks all world. So they have a good football team. The Washington football team they really do have a good football team. Their offense is questionable. They're 28th in the lead, but their defense is number 5 in the league, guys. And they really, they can rock and roll. Chase Young, wow. Anyway, this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a toss-up. Cowboys, they usually have fun playing and they're playing against the Washington football team. How many times have you seen this between these two? This is prolific matchup. prolific. And man, I just see Alex Smith having a great game. I'm telling you, Alex, he had one heck of a game last week, and this week, this is for, number one. This is in their division right here. This is going to be a tough game for both teams. They're going to prove, can Dalton come back and win it again? Can Alex Smith do good? Can he continue to do good? All those young guns on the football team, Washington football team. What's going to happen in this game? Drum roll, ready? The winner of the Washington football team on Thanksgiving afternoon with the Dallas Cowboys hosting will be, wow, it's going to be an upset. The Washington football team will beat the Dallas Cowboys people. Washington football team over the Dallas Cowboys in this one. It's going to be exciting, but I think the Washington football team is going to pull it out. Just like the Lions, the Dallas Cowboys, they really disappoint me. Anyway, when we have this first Sunday game on the 29th, we have the Miami Dolphins coming off their loss against Denver, going against the 0-10 Jets. And man, could this be the Jets' first game that they're going to win? It could be, but it won't be. The Miami Dolphins in this game over the Jets. Tua is going to have a great game. Their Miami defense is pretty good, guys. It's pretty good. So, and the Jets, their offense is non-existent. So, I'm giving Miami in this one, even though it's in New Jersey, which is the New York Jets MetLife Stadium. So, I'm giving it to Miami. Another 3 in a row, guys. 3 in a row visitors going in and beating. Wow. And we're going to have a 4th in a row. Oh, my gosh. No way. Get out of town. The next game, Arizona Cardinals going into Gillette Stadium. Yes. You know who the Jets play? It's the New England Patriots. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, New England. The Cardinals just came off a loss. They're going to win this game. They're going to win this game, and the Patriots will fall to 4-7. Ugly. And then Cardinals will keep their hopes alive to get into the playoffs and they'll be 7-4 after this game. The next game, you have the Panthers limping into Minnesota, and both teams are just limping. I mean, the 4-7 Panthers and the 4-6 Vikings. I don't know. The Vikings, they just don't interest me in this one. I mean, they have they cooked. They should have won last week. They didn't. They got beat by the Dallas Cowboys at home. Well, it's going to be revenge time this time, and the Vikings will beat the Panthers at home, and the Vikings will be 5-6 after this game. Okay, we have the Browns going into the Jags. Well, I think the Browns will pull this one out, and they will beat the Jags. The Browns over the Jags in this one. Jags will be 1-10, unfortunately. Okay, we have the Titans playing the Indianapolis Colts. Both teams coming off of a win. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be in Indianapolis. And those Colts are they're good. They're really good. And they're going to win this game. And they're going to beat the Tennessee Titans at home. The Colts over the Titans at home. The next game, we have the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants, going into the Cincinnati Bengals without Joe Burrow. And they're lighting candles in churches for Joe Burrow. Anyway, no, they aren't. Anyway, the New York Football Giants, they look great. They're, looking really good. And Gallman looks great. Jones is just on fire. The team's on fire. They're going to win this game. They'll be 4-7 at the end of this game. The next game we have the Los Angeles Chargers, who just came off a victory, going into Buffalo, and they're playing the Bills. Now, mind you, the Bills had a week off to lick their wounds, and they're going to come back, and they're going to beat the Los Angeles Chargers. Yes, Los Angeles Chargers will lose to this, the Buffalo Bills. I tell you, if you have Josh Allen, start him. If you have Hebert, start him. It's going to be a fun contest. I think it'd be a high-scoring affair, and it's going to end up with a Buffalo Bill interception or fumble from the Chargers, and Bills will triumph. But it's going to be a close game. Close game, guys. The next game, we have the Las Vegas Raiders going into the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, every time I pick the Falcons to win, they lose. Every time I pick them to lose, they win. So I'm going to pick the Raiders in this one, but the Falcons are going to win. I'm just teasing. The Raiders in this one. Raiders are too good. They're just too good, and they're going to beat the Falcons at home. The Falcons are hosting the Raiders, and the Raiders will be 7-4 at the end of this game. If the next game is upon us, if it does go as maybe expected, or let's just say this next game is up in the air. You have the Baltimore Ravens going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 10-0, and the Ravens are 6-4. The Ravens have just not looked good at all. Yet, I'm telling you people, this is the first game that the Pittsburgh Steelers could lose in the year. And I think this would be a good game for them to lose. I really do, because it's best to lose now than down the road, especially in the playoffs. So I'm picking the Ravens over the Steelers in this one. The Steelers will suffer their first loss of the year. And that's an upset, people. That is my upset pick of the week. The Baltimore Ravens over the Pittsburgh Steelers. That is the upset pick of the week. If they play. Hopefully they'll play. We're crossing our fingers. And the Baltimore Ravens, they don't have all their running backs too, guys. They're on COVID. And linemen. Now, mind you, that's asking a lot, from the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm still picking them to beat the Steelers. How about that? Then you have the San Francisco 49ers going into SoFi Stadium, the Los Angeles Rams, flying high Los Angeles Rams. And they're going to play into San Francisco 49ers. Niners will not lie down in this one. And Rams, I don't know. They sometimes they have this tendency to not play well after they played very well. And they just played well against the Tampa Bay Bucks, but will they play well again against the San Francisco 49ers? Now, the Niners, they're a pretty good defensive team as well, so it's going to be tough, but I'm going to give this one to the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, after this game, will be 8-3. The next game, we have the Saints going into Denver, Mile High Stadium. Denver Broncos. It's going to be snowing. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be rainy, snow, cold weather, and they're going to have Chayson Hill as their and then maybe Kamara. Maybe, I'm saying. Kamara is questionable. Okay? So guess what? This is my I'm giving 2 upsets of the week. Oh my gosh, I'm going to take the Broncos over the Saints. Oh, wow. That is going to be an exciting game. Broncos over the Saints in this game. And the Saints will lose. Next game on the docket at 1:25, you have the Kansas City Chiefs going into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Bucs, their backs are against the wall. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is not as good as the Rams defense. So so mind you, the Buccaneers will score better on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City, that's their weakness is their defense. They can be scored upon, and the Bucs are going to be ready, and the Kansas City Chiefs are going to suffer their second loss of the year, and the Bucs are going to. They always do that. They lose and they come back and they play great and they win. The Buccaneers in this one against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I cannot believe I'm even doing this. This is mad. I mean, I must be nuts. I'm picking the Bucs over the Kansas City Chiefs. This could be a Super Bowl. This could be the Super Bowl right here. These two teams could be matching each other up in the Super Bowl right here. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? So I'm picking the Bucs. I guess that's another upset. Wow. I got 3 upsets going. Oh, wow. What a great Week 12 this is going to be. The next game, we have the Chicago Bears going into the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Packers are just licking their wounds. The Chicago Bears offense is, just horrendous. They don't know who they're going to start. Trubisky, Foles. I mean, and their offense is just stagnant. But their defense is keeping them in the games. They just are, but you're playing the Packers. You're just not going to keep Aaron Rodgers down. You're just not going to keep him down. Aaron is going to have a big game in this one. He's going to have a huge game in this one. I'm telling you something. You just can't keep him down. I think it's going to be a blowout. This is going to be one of their first. The biggest blowout they've had was by 14 points this year, Chicago Bears. So I don't think the Packers, will crush them. I think they'll beat them maybe by 17 points. I think it will. I think maybe 37 or 27-10. Probably 27-10, something like that. It's by 17 points. I think that's going to happen. The Bears might score a touchdown on the defense, but the Packers in this one over the Bears. And then we have Monday Night Football. The Seattle Seahawks going into the division champion, division leader of the NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. Well, I mean, Philadelphia's been hurt, and more hurt. And then you have the Eagles. I don't know. The Philadelphia Eagles, man. You just have these Eagles, they keep disappointing you. They disappoint. They're another team. You pick them and they lose one week, they'll win. Pick them win one week, they'll lose. That's another team. It's just like it's a coin flip with them. But they're playing the Seattle Seahawks. They're playing the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, so I don't expect much from the Eagles. Seattle in this one. That's to wrap it up. Week 12, people. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. I wish everyone, joyful. Have fun with your family. Zoom your friends. Just enjoy it, people. And I'll see you next Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving. Calvin Dean with the Calvin Dean Show, sponsored by the NFL Network.